This week's Piltch Point with Avram Piltch is proudly powered by Newegg. Whether you're building a new computer or upgrading an existing one, Newegg has all of the parts and pieces to make that easy for you. Whether you're looking for a motherboard and processor, hard drive, power supply, or full built systems, you can find them all with Newegg. And there are daily deals. Right now, there's an ASUS ROG laptop on sale. There's hard drives and RAM and all kinds of stuff. And like I said, they change every day, so you'll definitely want to check out those deals. And the best way to do that is by going to pilchpoint.live/Newegg. So, speaking of computer components, Avram, this has been quite a week for news about computer components.
Yes, well, and when you think about it, news about systems too. So, Intel has announced its 9th generation H series processors for laptops. That means that gaming laptops, these are first of all the first 9th generation. I put that in quotes because that's their marketing term. Not that the 9th is that much different than the 8th, unfortunately. 9th generation laptop chips, although they have had 9th generation desktop chips since the fall. And these are the 45-watt H series chips, which are used in gaming laptops and mobile workstation type of laptops like a Dell XPS 15 or maybe a MacBook, but I don't know if MacBook Pro uses it, but well, they don't use 9th gen, obviously. But so anyway, 45-watt processors, and that means anytime Intel announces new processors, all the laptop vendors immediately come out with new laptops. So I'm sure Intel gave them these processors a while ago because they have them out and ready to go the same day that Intel announces it. It's not news to ASUS or Lenovo or Razer or MSI, who all made announcements. So, and the other PC vendors that we haven't heard announcements from on 9th gen powered laptops, I'm sure we're going to hear very soon. Acer also, I think we heard. So but let's step back for a second. What is the 9th gen H series processors and what's new? So the new thing is that the highest end processor, the Core i9, is going to have 8 cores and 16 threads. That is the Core i9 9980HK. That is the highest core and thread count for a mobile consumer processor that has ever come out, and it also has a boost clock speed, meaning it can get up to 5 gigahertz before you attempt to overclock it, provided, of course, that the laptop has decent cooling. So that's the high end of the line, and then you've got a couple Core i7 models, a couple Core i5s, and those drop down to 6 cores and 12, or 4 cores and 8 for the Core i5 threads for the Core i5s. All of these are 14 nanometer Coffee Lake refresh code chips, which means they have the same architecture as last year's models. The same Intel architecture as last year's models, the Coffee Lake refresh architecture. And by the way, the Coffee Lake refresh architecture is only a slight modification from the, I think, Skylake architecture that came out a few years ago. Mm-hmm. So this is all still 14 nanometer processors. Everyone's waiting for the 10 nanometer processors. You're going to keep waiting for quite a while, especially to come into gaming. So in the meantime, Intel has made these modest improvements by increasing the clock speed, increasing the number of cores. Um, that's that. Those are really the main improvements that they've made. They're not there's not a lot of new capabilities there. When Intel announced these, their big thing is, look how much faster these are than a processor that's 3 years old. Now, that's accurate. That's a decent comparison if you're talking about consumers who buy a new laptop every 3 or 4 years at the best, at most, right? People aren't buying a new one every year. But it's not. But if you really want to know whether the technology is advanced, that's not a good comparison, because it's not telling you whether, if you have a choice between a model with last year's processor and a model with this year's, whether it really makes a difference. And obviously we haven't had a chance to benchmark these. They just were announced. But it sounds like the really big deal here is not that they've come out with new chips so much as that the new chips are an excuse for vendors to come out with new laptops. And the new laptops will have other new features that you really will notice and care about for sure. For example, ASUS came out with a bunch of new Zephyrus laptops. It's thin and light models. And these laptops now have screens that can refresh at 240 hertz. Like, that's a lot, right? So you're talking about, if you have 240 frames per second, your screen can actually keep up with that. So these systems really, you're getting that kind of a refresh to go along with the processor. Also of interest, there's a new mobile graphics. There's a new graphics card around. NVIDIA just released its 16. I believe it just released the 1650 graphics card, which is its low-end mainstream. So really, there's more stuff. There's more stuff happening. Another thing that I think is really huge is ASUS just announced the Zephyrus GGA 502. Say that 5 times fast. That is their AMD powered, the first AMD powered gaming notebook in a long time, if ever. It uses AMD's new high wattage Ryzen processor, and but NVIDIA graphics, and it's a really, really affordable deal. You can get it for $1099 with a 512 gigabyte SSD, and 8 gigs of RAM, or $1199 with 16 gigs of RAM. So that's very powerful. So there's a lot of interesting stuff coming out. I definitely encourage people to check out the coverage on our site of some of the announcements, but obviously we'll be getting in these laptops over the course of the next month or two as they actually hit store shelves, and be able to really evaluate them.
Very nice. And so, okay, so the new laptops have just been announced, right? Like, or have some
Yes.
of them? Nothing's hit the market just yet.
No, some of the new Zephyruses are supposed to ship, I think May 1st or 2nd.
Okay.
So very soon. The AMD model is supposed to ship by, we looked at it and we said, oh, if this is out today, we're not going to wait for ASUS to send it to us. We're going to go to the store and buy it, because we really, really want to test it. And no, it wasn't out yet. All the shipping says, I think, May 3rd. So you can't buy these. You could pre-order, but you can't actually have in your house. Probably not anyway. Any of these until probably another week or two. But we're very, it's very close.
Gotcha. I think we should pluralize it Zephyri.
Yeah. Zephyruses.
We decided to pluralize Surface with Surfi a number of years ago. So
Yes.
I say we go with the same scheme here.
They're like 5 Zephyri right now. Yeah. I mean, ASUS also released some new Strix and gaming laptops. But the Zephyrus are the ones to keep your eyes on.
Oh, that's just fun to hear. I like hear Zephyrus. Oh, all right. And so obviously you guys have articles on all of this stuff, right?
Yes, on tomshardware.com. Also a review of the new GTX 1650 graphics card.
Ooh. Nice. I have not seen that yet. I look forward to seeing that. And obviously, as always, thank you, Avram, because you keep your finger on on the pulse that the rest of us just can't do. So, thank you.